Hey guys, FameTube Octo here, and today we're just sneaking around the backfield as a spy looking for a I'm disguised as this guy. I've been caught red-handed. My plans of subtle espionage are crumbling right before my eyes. Can I trick stab him from here? No, he'll see it coming. Maybe if I stall long enough, my dead ringer will recharge in time, but God, there's no guarantee he won't reach me before that with his speed.
Bam! Sorry, time's up, you're dead.
I'm left with only one option at this range, and that's to hold my ground, my last-ditch, desperate effort to make it out of here alive. It's you or me, pal. Oh, you know, the spy's revolver is actually a lot more reliable than I thought. I feel like there's a... Jesus. I feel like there's a certain advantage to, okay, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Come and get it, baby. I've got enough bullets for all of you. Get a load of this primary weapon, you fools. Subclass? More like Dom class.
By now, I'm sure most of us understand what a Gunspy is in the greater TF2 community, if the context clues don't already give it away. There's certainly no shortage of cool exploratory commentaries and montage videos highlighting its effectiveness, even by me to an extent. But lately, I really went down an unhealthy rabbit hole trying to figure out how viable and effective it can be when utterly fleshed out and played most optimally given the situation. And that's a whole lot of big unnecessary words for how can we make Gunspy work best? So if you've encountered this masked menace in your TF2 lobby, wreaking havoc with the revolver or whiffing all of his shots, then I'd like to thank you graciously because, fellas, gimmicks aside, this unassuming powerhouse of a Dom class can be so fun and rewarding to play. And as an advocate of finding new and interesting ways to play a 15-year-old game, I want to throw my hat in the ring and share how I think is the best way to Gunspy, starting with the loadout. Oh, geez, here we go. Okay, I know, settle down. I get it, okay? Dead ringer spycicle, a lot of mixed emotions here. You hate it already and want to burn me at the stake. Too bad you can't. But I mean, listen, dude, if your playstyle is going to revolve primarily around your gun as a spindly noodle 125 health glass cannon, you're going to need every defensive item at your disposal to avoid getting insta-gibbed the moment you're spotted.
Godspeed, you magnificent bastard. Oh, fuck.
And that brings us back to the two most defensive items in the spy's arsenal. A free extinguish that gives a valuable second of complete fire immunity along with 10 seconds of afterburn immunity, and a get out of damage free card with persistent damage reduction, complementary status effect removal, speed boost, invisibility with no cloak shimmer while bumping into... Okay, it's good, okay? What I'm trying to say here is I think it's still pretty busted, even after the infamous nerf that stopped you from regenerating the cloak meter from ammo packs and dispensers. I get why people hate this combo. I mean, how can you not when 9 times out of 10 the spy you're fighting can reliably piece out of pretty much any sort of sticky situation that no class should be able to survive through with a single click of their mouse and a swap of their weapon. It effectively gives you another life to work with that you can waste moments later. That being said, we're not using this combo to do something like easily cheese ourselves away after a backstab or two like you'd probably expect. We're using the strengths of these items to complement our primary and make it even stronger in head-on fights by keeping us in those fights. Whether by blocking that rocket or pill that would have sent us to an early grave, or denying all that afterburn damage that would have sent others into a retreat. The other knives that buff you in some way require you to fulfill the prerequisite of landing a backstab before you can even utilize them at the cost of your base health, and this will likely force you into some awkward and risky positions that will net you far less consistent results than just having a couple buffs on hand whenever you need it. And this is a Gunspy build, not a knife then Gunspy build, god damn it. And while the other Invis watches can grant you some success in taking your time to calmly pick out your targets and the best moments to strike, they won't allow you to approach with the same ballsy, massive dong aggression that can make a Gunspy so outlandishly effective. You can afford to get caught using a dead ringer, but if you're caught using an Invis watch, more times than not you're likely dead. Not to mention the other wacky tricks that require a dead ringer, but I'll get more into that later. No spoilers, you. In terms of your primary, Stock has the most consistent damage of all the revolvers whenever you need it. No gimmicks, just reliable damage, so I don't ever really stray from it. I suppose if you're a cracked StaryKrow incarnate, consistently landing ambassador headshots left and right, then you can feel free to take advantage of that extra damage. But if you understand and believe in the power of the Gunspy like I do, then you shouldn't stray from the revolver either, my friend. So now that you perfectly understand my weapon choices and the loadout mob is no doubt quelled, how can we utilize this gun-driven playstyle to achieve the most impact for our team without... Hey, buddy, knock it off, would you please? I'm trying to explain how to... What the... Ugh, damn it! I've fallen for the long-range distracting capabilities of the Gunspy! And so can your mortal enemies. Take a look here at this clip. I have no intention of actually killing this full health heavy on my own from this distance, but what I can do is take his sweet, yummy attention while a far larger threat cleans him up. That is an easy distraction kill. Theoretically, yes, you can do this with just about any class, but the Spy is definitely the most effective distractor in my eyes because of 1, his ability to reliably escape if someone commits on you, and 2, the sheer annoyance of being peppered with a semi-reliably accurate 21 or so damage by some dipwad of a Spy who thinks they could rain on your parade from 50 feet away is usually strong enough to get a reaction out of most players. If they don't decide to take cover or make an effort to stop you, that damage can seriously add up, and that time and focus spent on reacting to you leaves a wide open opportunity for your team to swoop in and help you out.
Oh, who are you gonna shoot? Spy's doing a lot of damage.
On rare occasions, you won't get a reaction from a player at all, and they just let that damage add up, and you know what, I just feel insulted at this point. But this tactic isn't only reserved for long ranges. You can be just as much of a nuisance up close. You throwing your apparently fragile and out of position body at the enemy will drive attention and ammunition your way to soak up. But that ammo and attention spent on you while you very calmly right-click is ammo and attention not spent on classes who do just a little more burst damage than you can. And thus, you made killing that guy a lot easier for your team. Look how much this festivized demo pan appreciates us right now. That's the kind of love I strive for when I'm gaming. Of course, all this implies you're fighting by your team's side. Let's say your team is nearby but not really fighting with you, and you just distracted a player so hard that they decided to drop everything they were doing to end you right then and there. Oh geez, it seems like that's exactly what's happening right now. Crazy how I timed that. Well, don't worry, I think I know what to do here. All according to plan, what can I say? If you distract so well that a player goes into a full 30 FOV Bloodlust Death Note Death Wish tunnel vision mode to kill you, then you can use that opportunity to lead them out of position into the welcoming arms of your nearby team. Executing this is made easier thanks to the safety cushion of the dead ringer, but also, you'll notice players acting particularly lusty for you if you quickly decloak out of your dead ringer after they trigger it, making sure they notice you're still alive and squirming. It can be pretty risky, but once you make them figure you're at your most vulnerable, they'll tend to thirst after you even harder, despite your very useful speed boost and persistent damage reduction that you can use to easily dodge projectiles and retreat to your team with. All this to say, you'll find some players throwing themselves in just the darnest positions to finish you off.
You're really chasing this, huh?
And when you recognize that and react accordingly, you don't even have to land your shots.
Here we go, pal, 1v1. You and me, come and get it.
Except I was actually lying the whole time. I don't know what it is exactly about a Spy that makes some players want to chase them to the ends of the earth. Guess people just want Spies dead, man. And I get it, Spy mains are the worst. Just look at this guy. So far, we've covered the supportive, inadvertent ways a Gunspy's presence can help their team. But Octo, that's super boring and not epic style at all. When are we gonna take our Gunspy and advertently kill with intention and direct cause? Like earlier when you did the, you know, the and then I hit him with the, and then I kill him with the, and then I pull it out and aim it and I shoot him with the... Alright, I hear you. Let's say your team is neither fighting with you, nor nearby to bait people into. They are pretty much non-existent, which seems to be the case anytime you join a server, am I right? Hey, alright, I'll be here for the next few minutes, thank you. Relatable commentary aside, your next best option is to politely convince a player to follow you away from the rest of their team into a 1v1 situation. A Gunspy can seriously hold his own in a 1v1. The revolver has solid killing potential even on full health targets, and I don't know if too many players realize that.
My guy really just walked at me and let me shoot him.
Let me put it into perspective for you. Every class with the exception of Heavy and anyone with a health boosting effect will die from 3 to 5 well-placed shots from close to medium range in 2 seconds or less when all shots land. That's not bad at all. You can definitely keep up with most of the other classes in terms of damage output. Even at longer ranges, with maximum damage fall off, 21 might not seem like a lot, but it's still some of the highest and most accurate hit scan damage of all the classes.
Oh man.
And that goes for buildings too. Sapper? I hardly even know her. I prefer to sit back from the safety of over here while I remove this sentry in less than 5 seconds, thank you very much.
Oh my god.
I feel like players regularly underestimate how quickly the revolver's damage can add up from just about any range. So while enemies are moving into their effective range, you have a fighting chance to return the damage to any overconfident scout that decides to take that 1v1 with you, or hubris-fueled soldier that decides to jump you, or sniper that walks at you in a straight line with his melee weapon.
Well, guess what I have, dude? I have a gun. I don't know if you knew that.
I am aware of the huge asterisk-shaped elephant in the room next to the phrase, "when all shots land," because despite my absurd amount of time invested into 6 shooting, I can still be pretty inconsistent with my shots.
What a I fucking suck so bad.
But we can buy ourselves more opportunities to land those very important shots when we incorporate the rest of our arsenal. Looking back again at everyone's favorite spy watch, the sheer DPS of the revolver coupled with the ability to last second block a ton of damage and invisibly speed boost wherever you like really makes for a worthy adversary in a 1v1 and other fights in general. I swear, I use the dead ringer like it's some sort of Dark Souls shield parry mechanic where I get in as much damage as I can before blocking a rocket or a pipe and then decloaking as fast as possible so I can make the most use of that speed boost, finishing off where I was fighting or chasing down those who try to retreat at low health.
Does this medic think he's gonna get away? Does this scout think he's gonna kill me?
If your timing is good enough, you can do more than just block damage. I believe I owe you the rest of this clip. When you manage to time your jump to an enemy's explosive correctly, you can use it to pull off some of the most adrenaline-surging stunts that make you feel like the fucking main protagonist of your favorite John Wick action movie star franchise, double deluxe feature grande, fucking with a side salad, and I cannot get enough of styling on these soldiers who grant me the means with which to style upon them.
Thank you.
Then again, using the Spycicle to unabashedly and directly counter pyros is probably even more satisfying to me. Like I mentioned earlier, that extinguish and fire immunity on demand is a great way of avoiding a bunch of damage from one of Spy's most effective counters, but it also really allows you to turn the tides mid-fight against them. Switching weapons and being totally invulnerable to a class's primary source of damage for a whole second is no small thing, especially when that class relies on sustained damage in order to kill. That break from it and denial of afterburn perfectly sets up your next shot or two that you need to finish off that pyro who's already trying to put themselves in the range where you have the most damage ramp up. Real quick, who do you think wins this fight if both players start holding down the fire button at the same time? Go ahead, place your bets, people, and now stop placing your bets because neither class wins and you just lost all of your money. But a well-timed Spycicle swap in between your shots will allow you to outdamage a pyro even at point-blank range and survive. And figuring this out really changed my attitude about coming toe-to-toe with a pyro. I mean, there's nothing quite like being the aggressor and chasing down a pyro as a spy, willingly throwing yourself into their flames without a care in the world while they wonder why the hell you aren't taking any damage. Once I realized the way these items not only help you hide, but also help you fight, I found myself playing Spy like an annoyingly aggressive fight-picking class, almost like a scout. But I've yet to even mention the feature of the Spy that I believe makes him even more dangerous when it comes to opportunistic on-the-go murder.
Hey, look at me! Look at me! Woo! Oh, what's up? Hard to stab a guy in the back when he's...
Ooh.
What are you looking at? Oh, this ain't good. No, 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 help!
Knowledge.
Turns out, knowing exactly how close an enemy is to dying helps you pick your fights with a lot better success rate. Go figure.
You're 2 shots away. fella. You're 2 shots away. I see that health.
This makes it way easier to gauge how favorable a fight is with anyone in your line of sight and whether you could afford to commit on them or avoid them if it looks unlikely you could finish the job. I probably wouldn't be challenging this medic pyro combo if I didn't know they were already so ripe for the picking health-wise, and just for noticing that, I get the juiciest little double kill in just a few quick shots. No other damage-dealing class has this kind of ever-present intel that tips them off on the best times to strike and the best targets to go on. So when you're paying attention to those health numbers, you can become so deadly efficient at singling out those players who just ate a bunch of damage and jumping on those opportunities to prevent them from getting away with it. Personally, I love taking on the role of the mysterious stranger and cleaning up after my team. And when you're really paying attention for that happy blinking red cross, you'll sometimes find that long-distance diamond in the rough.
Well now.
Oh, you know what? This might be a good time to mention that the revolver has 100% accuracy in between every 1.25 seconds of firing, so that's pretty useful. Was I interrupting something? That cheeky CSGO-style revolver pick from across the country is just one of the naughtiest ways you can finish someone off in this game. Oh, perfect. So, Gunspy, is it easy to pull off? Hell no. Probably one of the hardest subclass, Dom classes out there to pick up and play. Aside from being at least half decent at aiming, there's a lot of learning where your limits are, and that part doesn't come so easily. But once you get a handle on what you're capable of, you have the means to become a serious threat. Should you never use the knife for backstabbing? Hell no. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like using your gun in situations where enemies are practically throwing their backs at you is somehow better than just backstabbing them.
They forgot that I was also a spy with a knife. Just showed me their backs.
Among other scenarios where a knife is just the better call.
Okay, I couldn't resist, man. I had to pull out the knife for that one.
And that is pretty much all I've learned with the ungodly amount of time I've committed to making Gunspy at least semi-viable. But I bet you're still having doubts about its effectiveness, and you know what, I understand. I'd be happy to offer more evidence, maybe like in a stream sometime soon. Let's see, how about, right now? Are you free right now? Let's do it right now. I'm streaming right now at the time of this video's release. Sorry, future people. Come say hi. I want to interact with you guys. It's been so long. You could tell me your thoughts on the video and how I did such a good job giving people more excuses to stack spies in every server. Hooray! Is it too late to delete the video?